Envision tracking down a fortune at all normal spot and transforming that revelation into a fortune or $350 million. Presently, it's not only a fantasy, the truth for certain people made incomprehensible abundance and progress. We should hop into the main 15, a motivating excursion of customary people who struck gold. Yankom's change from railing on food stamps to turning into a tech tycoon is a demonstration of the force of development and ingenuity in the wake of moving from Ukraine to the US. He and his family confronted huge monetary hardships, a CK difference to the achievement he would later accomplish. Living on food stamps was a piece of his initial life in the US, featuring the difficulties he conquered on his excursion. Colm's noteworthy accomplishment accompanied the production of WhatsApp, an informing application that changed the manner in which the world conveys. His vision for a basic, secure, and solid informing application made up for a shortcoming on the lookout and immediately acquired notoriety around the world. The significant second in case profession came when Facebook perceived the worth of WhatsApp and procured it for a shocking $19 billion, stamping one of the biggest tech acquisitions ever. This arrangement launched K into the positions of the world's richest people, with a total assets of more than $10 billion. The Bill Yan story is a motivation to business people all over, demonstrating that with a good thought, difficult work, and assurance, it's feasible to change your own life, as well as the manner in which the world imparts. Yan's jump from food stamps to WhatsApp Prime supporter is bewildering. Sarah Blakely transformed shapewear into $1 billion. Realm with Beats. Sarah Blakely's excursion from selling fax machines task to establishing Spanx is a story of inventiveness and determination. Before Spanx turned into an easily recognized name, Blakely was hustling, confronting the day-to-day dismissals that accompany house-to-house deals. Nonetheless, it was this experience that sharpened her versatility and assurance qualities that would demonstrate significant in her enterprising endeavor. The thought for Spanx was conceived out of private need. Blakely was searching for an answer for look consistent under white jeans, something the market needed. With $5,000 in reserve funds and no proper involvement with style or business, she faced a challenge, explored, planned, and vigorously tested out her thought. Her advancement came when Neiman Marcus embraced her item, which is making way for length to turn into a progressive brand in ladies' underpants. Spanx didn't simply reshape underpants. It supported the certainty of millions of ladies around the world. Sarah Blakely made millions from hits. Then, we should perceive how John's energy for roadwear changed his life. Daymond John's story is a clear representation of innovative soul and assurance prior to turning into an easily recognized name. John worked at Red Lobster, saving each penny he acquired. It was during this time that he imagined a brand that would become inseparable from metropolitan style. With a humble beginning in his mom's home in Sovereigns, New York, John sent off FUBU, an abbreviation for Us by Us, meaning to catch the undiscovered market of streetwear style in spite of the monetary difficulties. John's vision for FUBU was immovable, and he insightfully utilized his normal everyday employment income to support his fantasy about sowing the seeds of what might develop into a worldwide design domain. FUBU's advancement came when John figured out how to persuade hip jump specialists to wear his plans, giving the brand the perceivability and believability it expected to break into the standard. From humble starting points in his mom's home, FUBU has developed into a brand with more than $6 billion in deals around the world, a demonstration of John's prescience, tirelessness, and creative way to deal with marketing and showcasing today. With a total assets of $350 million, Daymond John's excursion from tending to tables to establishing a worldwide design brand is a moving story for hopeful business people all over, demonstrating that with difficult work, vision, and a touch of inventive showcasing, dreams can for sure become reality. Daymond John made FUBU into a worldwide brand, coming up Ralph Lauren's ascent from binds to a design domain. Ralph Lauren's excursion from a TI sales rep to a worldwide style symbol is an account of desire and inventive vision. Lauren started with a straightforward dream to plan his garments. This fantasy drove him to begin selling ties, a humble starting that established the groundwork for what might become perhaps of the most perceived brand in style. Lauren's eye for plan and comprehension of what individuals needed to wear immediately put him aside. He didn't simply make clothing. He made a way of life that resounded with purchasers all over the planet. His capacity to mix exemplary style with a feeling of easygoing complexity caught the quintessence of American design and pushed this brand to global achievement today. Len's total assets remains at a great $7 billion, a demonstration of his getting through impact on the style business. How Labo Galuza turned into a media financier for humble starting points. Work Galoa's ascent from destitution to turning into a noticeable media tycoon is a strong story of flexibility and vision, experiencing childhood in one of South Africa's devastated areas, still up in the air to adjust his life's course. With a striking guarantee to himself to turn into a mogul by the age of 25, he left on an excursion loaded up with difficulties and opportunities. Occasion's initial vocation was set apart by steadiness and difficult work. He comprehended the significance of training and utilized his business studies to lay the basis for his future undertakings. After school, Galuza entered the serious universe of business, where his inventive reasoning and business intuition started to sparkle. Establishing Gungala endeavors in media was a critical second in his vocation. Through this endeavor, Gungala not just accomplished his objective of turning into a tycoon, yet in addition made critical commitments to the media business in South Africa. Gongoloa's story is a motivating illustration of how assurance, combined with a reasonable vision, can beat the most overwhelming obstructions. His excursion from an unassuming starting to a fruitful business pioneer keeps on moving yearning business visionaries. Up next, how about we perceive how Chanel's vision changed the essence of style for eternity? Gabrielle Chanel, referred to worldwide as Coco Chanel, has begun her excursion in a spot not many would connect with the introduction of a design symbol left at a halfway house. Chanel found comfort and expertise in sewing, an ability that would drive her from an existence of haziness to the zenith of design, notwithstanding her initial difficulties. Chanel's desire and inventiveness exceeded all logical limitations. She moved to Paris, where she started as a needleworker, rapidly becoming famous with her evident ability and novel fashion instinct. Coco Chanel changed ladies' style by presenting solace and polish as interchangeable attributes. She broadly made the little dark dress Chanel No. 5 scent, and advocated the idea of relaxed stylish with her plans. Chanel's effect on design was significant, freeing ladies from the imperatives of couture design and presenting a moderate rich style that endured over the extreme long haul. The brand Chanel, with its famous twofold C logo, has developed into an extravagant realm, encapsulating extravagance and immortal style. Coco Chanel rose from a vagrant to a style legend. John D. Rockefeller's story from accountant to very rich person is straight away. John D. Rockefeller's ascent from humble starting points to the world's most memorable extremely rich person is an account of desire and procedure naturally introduced to an unfortunate family. His initial battles didn't control his fantasies. Beginning as a clerk, Sharp's negotiating prudence laid the basis for a memorable climb in the economy. The formation of Standard Oil denoted a defining moment. Rockefeller's creative administration and extension strategies permitted his organization to rule the U.S. oil industry, making him an urgent figure in business. His essential speculations and the progress of Standard Oil assisted him with hoarding a fortune, laying out him as the principal individual to accomplish $1 billion total assets at his demise. Rockefeller's abundance was influential for the point that it made up a huge piece of the U.S. economy, featuring his significant effect. Past his monetary accomplishments, his generosity left an enduring heritage in training, well-being, and exploration, helping people in the future. Rockefeller's excursion from a clerk to a tycoon epitomizes how assurance, key prescience, and creative reasoning can revise one's fate. Rockefeller turned into the primary tycoon. Then, we'll perceive the way Oprah Winfrey's ascent from neediness to media titan shows the effect of assurance. Oprah Winfrey's excursion from a provoking youth to turning into a worldwide media force to be reckoned with is an account of versatility and visionary authority, naturally introduced to a day-to-day existence, set apart by destitution and difficulty. Oprah's initial years were loaded up with battles. Be that as it may, these difficulties simply reinforced her determination. Oprah's TV vocation started with her commentator jobs. Yet her sympathetic methodology and remarkable capacity to associate with both her visitors and crowd before long pushed her into the spotlight. Her show, The Oprah Winfrey Show, turned into a stage for examining significant social issues, individual stories, and in the middle between, making it one of the most watched syndicated programs in television history. Past TV, Oprah extended her domain into creation, distributing, and magnanimity, altogether influencing the media business and society. Her business keenness and key speculations have amassed a total assets of $2.7 billion, making her one of the richest and most persuasive figures on the planet. Oprah Winfrey constructed a media domain from humble starting points. Ina Komprad's excursion from matches to IKEA is close to be investigated. Ingvar Komprad's excursion from a little fellow selling matches to establishing IKEA, the worldwide furniture Goliath, is an account of enterprising soul and imaginative reasoning. Beginning at the young age of 6, a friend gave early indications of business venture by selling matches to neighbors, showing a natural comprehension of benefit margins. This early endeavor into business laid the preparation for what might later turn into a worldwide domain in the style business. A Komprad established IKEA at only 17, an organization that would reform how furniture was sold, planned, and gathered. His vision was to make reasonable, great furniture for the general population, a thought that was progressive at that point. IKEA's extraordinary plan of action, which included level pressing furniture for home gathering, decreased cost as well as made it conceivable to send items effectively around the world. When of his passing, a Komprad total assets had taken off to a surprising $58.7 billion, mirroring the monstrous achievement and worldwide reach of IKEA under Komprad initiative. IKEA changed the furniture retail industry, making beautiful and utilitarian furniture open to individuals around the world. The organization made furniture reasonable. Howard Schultz's Starbucks story is up straight away, demonstrating the way that espresso can construct local area and a business domain. Howard Schultz's ascent from a youth in lodging tasks to turning into the president of Starbucks is a story of desire, foreknowledge, and change naturally introduced to a striving family. Schultz's initial life was set apart by monetary difficulty. However, it was these provokes that energized his drive to accomplish something more noteworthy. At the point when Schultz joined Starbucks, it was only a little espresso chain in Seattle. However, he saw potential a long ways past what was before him. Schultz's vision for Starbucks was progressive. He planned to make a third spot among work and home, where local area and association could prosper over some espresso. Become president. Schultz led the worldwide development of Starbucks, transforming it into the incredibly famous brand it is today. Under his initiative, Starbucks developed into a worldwide espresso realm, fundamentally molding espresso culture all over the planet. Today, Howard Schultz's total assets surpasses $4 billion, a demonstration of his inventive way to deal with business and his capacity to transform a dream into the real world. Then, we should investigate J.K. Rowling's progress from government assistance to Harry Potter's maker and the way that it shows the enchantment of constancy. J.K. Rowling's change from living on government help to turning into the world's most extravagant creator is a convincing story of trust and creative mind. As a single parent in Edinburgh, she confronted critical difficulties, attempting to accommodate her girl while seeking after her enthusiasm for composing. It was at these times of difficulty that the universe of Harry Potter was conceived, a creation that would ultimately prompt a total assets of $650 million. Ring's process started with the composition of Harry Potter and the Thinker's Stone, a cycle that elaborate drafting in neighborhood bistros while her girl rested notwithstanding various dismissals. Ring's tirelessness paid off, while Bloomsbury Distributing chose to take a risk on her mystical world. Ring's abundance, while significant, recounts just piece of her story, something beyond monetary profit. Her prosperity gave the pleasure of perusing to innumerable kids and grown-ups the same, demonstrating the force of narrating. Presently, how about we figure out how Leonardo Delio went from a shelter to establishing Loda? Leonardo Delio's life is an exceptional story of change from difficulty to unrivaled achievement. Naturally introduced to neediness in Milan, Italy, and brought up in a shelter after his dad's passing, Delio's starting points were not even close to promising. Yet he held on to dreams that extended past the bounds of his initial circumstances. His excursion to progress started unobtrusively when he apprenticed as a toolmaker, an expertise that would later turn into the foundation of his realm. Immediately jumping all over a chance, he wandered into the eyeglass business, working a little shop that had practical experience in parts for eyewear. This little shop was the seed that developed into Loda the behemoth in the eyewear business, controlling significant brands. For example, Ray-Ban Delio's sharp business understanding and assurance drove the organization's extension, pushing the limits of advancement and plan in eyewear. His endeavors shot Loda to the very front of the worldwide market, making it the biggest maker and retailer of glasses and casings around the world. Delio's total assets took off to a surprising $22.6 billion, checking him as one of the most well-off people all around the world. Then, we have Peter Dinklage's account of beating dismissal and showing ability to procure Emmy brilliance demonstrates that assurance and expertise can get through obstructions. Peter Dinklage's excursion from battling entertainer to Emmy-winning greatness is an account of flexibility and ability brought into the world in New Jersey to guardians of unassuming means. Dinklage put his focus on acting, seeking after a degree in theater. In spite of the difficulties that lay ahead after school, he wound up troubled with educational loan obligation, unfit to manage the cost of even an essential condo. His initial days in New York City were loaded up with dismissal and difficult situations. Remembering a long spell of dozing for companions' lounge chairs and persevering through a tiring information handling position just to earn enough to pay the bills. Regardless of the difficulties, Dinklage's energy for acting won't ever disappear. His advancement accompanied the job of Tyrion Lannister in HBO's Down of Lofty Positions, a section that exhibited his unbelievable ability as well as won him boundless a CC guarantee for his depiction of Tyrion promotion. Dinklage procured a stunning $1.2 billion for each episode in the show's last seasons, as per Marie CLA. This job shifted his profession direction, as well as altogether affected his total assets later on. Dawn Chung's Eternity 21 story portrays how quickly taking advantage of chance changes businesses. Dawn Chang's excursion to turning into a design realm, head honcho, is a story of steady difficult work and sharp business discernment. Beginning from South Korea, Chung moved to the US, at first taking up positions as a service station chaperone and a CAF specialist. Notwithstanding the unassuming starting points and the extended periods, his assurance never faltered in 1984, utilizing his reserve funds and a voracious drive for progress. Chung, alongside his better half Jinak, opened the Principal Always 21 store in Los Angeles, initially named Style 21. The store planned to bring stylish, affordable fashion 21. The store intended to bring stylish, reasonable design to the majority. The bet paid off, and the store's notoriety took off, prompting its rebranding. As Perpetually 21, Shang's business discernment appeared through as he extended the brand worldwide, making it inseparable from quick design while keeping up with reasonableness. Under Chun's initiative, Perpetually 21 developed into a worldwide design force to be reckoned with, flaunting north of 600 stores across the globe. The brand's prosperity transformed Chong into a very rich person with a total assets of $3.1 billion. Chung made style available. We wrap up with Magnus Walker, whose enthusiasm for Porsche features how following your energy can prompt achievement. Magnus Walker's story is one of genuine coarseness and imagination. At only 15, he left school and his home in the UK, holding back nothing future across the Atlantic. With minimal more than desire in his pockets, he arrived in, still up in the air to cut out his prosperity. Walker's excursion from second-hand shop chases to turning into a titan in the Porsche world is completely noteworthy. He began little, scouring second-hand shops for little more than one-of-a-kind things that grabbed his attention. This skill for tracking down treasures among the ignored drove him to wander into tweaking Porsche, an energy that before long transformed into a worthwhile business. His remarkable way to deal with Porsche customization, mixing exemplary styles with an individual touch, immediately gathered consideration. Walker's work justified itself, changing rare Porsches into desired showstoppers. Today, his assortment, including pearls like the renowned 1971 Porsche 911 Trillions known as the, is esteemed at a faltering $7.5 million. Yet it's not just about the vehicles. Walker's excursion from a young person with large dreams to an ed figure in the car world, CHS, what's conceivable with energy and constancy. These unbelievable stories make that your beginning statement doesn't characterize your endpoint. From Magnus Walker second-hand shop expeditions to Yancom's billion-dollar dual-tech realm, these excursions feature that with enthusiasm, flexibility, and a touch of imagination, the sky is the limit. Think beyond practical boundaries, begin little, and never surrender, prepared for a shift from rousing stories to key bits of knowledge. Look at our video on numerical nerds that makes sense of scoring sweepstakes procedures and finds how numbers can assume a part in pursuing dreams. Thanks for watching Gossip Now.